over here. Okay, so we've got these cameras, and we're using the JVC's HM150s. So let me just get this out of the case. Now the AV guys have wiped these down and sanitised them all, so I'll use this one. You use a different one that's clean. There's no other groups using them today, so we could give them a wipe down at the end anyway, for good practice. Okay, so we've got a camera. We also need a tripod. So as we said before, you can, so you can see it. Okay, you can spend a fortune on a tripod. Well, I say these ones are probably more expensive than the actual cameras that we're using. But the thing is, if you're being a professional media person, your tripod is going to last you for decades, and you'll probably get a new camera every 4 or 5 years. Yeah, so it's a long-term investment in a quality tripod. Doesn't matter if it's a big one like this, a small one, or whatever. You see people and they're trying to set up the tripods, and they're getting their legs out here, there, and everywhere. Here's look. Yeah, and they're trying to do that, and they're extending the legs. All you need to do to set up a tripod, yeah, is on these wing nuts at the top, just loosen all of those. Yeah. Then you can lift it up to whatever height you want. Yeah. Then when it's wherever you are, just lock them all off. And then you know that all 3 legs are at the same height. Yeah? And so when you open it up, it should be steady seal. So rather than mucking about pulling legs out individually, just drop all 3 of them, then open them up. And then you can bring the arm into operation, you can loosen that up and make that into put that into a better position for yourself. Once you've got the arm out, like that, you've got control over it. Now there's loads of wing nuts around the head of this thing. There's one just below the red button here, and that can be used to lock it off. So if it seems a bit bouncy, get your shot right, lock it off. There is also on here a little like spirit level device in there, so you can try and get the head level there. If you want to do that, you just reach underneath and there's a nut here which loosens the whole head up. And you can just try and move it so the bubble is right in the middle and lock it off. And that then means that that is perfectly level. Okay, so when you film stuff, you're not going to, if you want to pan from left to right, it's not going to suddenly go like that when you shoot. It's going to be locked up on the level. So, you put the camera on the tripod. Cameras have the plates already on them, so you don't need to change any of that. And it just literally slides on the track at the back, like that. But once it's on, it won't come off, but it's not tight yet. Yeah. So it's got like a safety catch on it. And if you need to release it, you have to press this red button on the side, and that lets you take it off. Okay. But that's just the safety catch. And then all we need to do is come around to the same side where the arm is, and there's another wing nut on that side. You can just turn that, and that'll lock it off on top. Once it's on there, you only want to control it using the arm. Yeah, so don't grab the camera and try and move it, because that's now fixed on with a tiny little screw. And at some, and if you do that, you'll eventually tear the thread off the bottom of the camera. Yeah. So once it's on there, you control it all with the arm. Okay. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to lead so you can see it on the screen behind me what I'm doing. On that screen. Yeah, you will. Not perfectly, but it's good enough. Okay, so I've just connected that on so you can see what I can see on the viewfinder. You've obviously got a lens cap on the front here, and that's turned on and off at the side, and it's just at the back of the awkward thing for you guys to see. So to open the lens cap, on the back of this plastic bit here, there's a little mechanical switch. And you don't open that up, yeah, and that's the lens opened up. Okay, and so we can see everything on the screen now. Okay, a couple of things to point out. So first thing you want to do, just to say, showing you 1920 by 1080. Basically, it says HQ in the corner. You're good to go.
It should do by default, but of course people can always change stuff. Then what you need to do is just check down here and check if you've got any sound coming through, so you can see if the sound is coming through on there. You can see the sound levels going up. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you can see that moving, you know you've got the audio working. If you're filming in certain locations, you could plug some headphones in and monitor the sound in the headphones as well. What you've also got down here is just like on the phone, you've got the battery life thing, and that's how much time you've got left on the SD card. Okay then, so let's look at some of the manual features. 3 manual things we need to do, and then you guys can grab a camera and go out on your teams and get stuff done. So, first thing, let's look at focus. So, let's see if I can pull this over a little bit and get the thing on the wire. Okay, so we want to focus and there's a switch on this side of the camera which says focus and zoom, and depending on what that's set to, this ring here that you can turn, that's the function that gets described as that thing. So we leave it on focus, which means that it's on manual focus, and then we can turn that ring to focus. Okay, and there's also a button there, I should mention, that says AF and MF for manual focus, and if you look on the screen, no, it's just off the screen, bottom right hand corner, you just see M in there. If I press that, MF, yes, it changes, and we want that on manual focus. Okay. So with that in mind, we turn the camera around, and we're trying to avoid pulling the wire. So if I want to focus on that plant over there, I'm going to zoom right into the plant, yeah, and then I can turn this wheel, and I can put it in and out of focus. So I'll zoom right in, and I'm going to turn it, so I'll get that plant in focus, like that. If you're filming a person, the eyes. If you're not filming buildings, the key part of the building you want to have in focus. Then zoom back out. Okay, next thing to do is the exposure. Okay, which doesn't show up too well on this screen, but let me turn it around so you can see it. Okay, on the back of the camera here next to the battery, there's a button that says AE for auto exposure. Okay, and that turns it on off. So if I press it, you'll notice that where it says AE at the bottom of the screen here goes into outline mode. And directly underneath that is a tiny little thumb wheel which lets you adjust the exposure. Yeah, so if I go back over to there somewhere, yeah, and that's on -6, and you can hopefully see there, as I move it up, the exposure gets brighter and brighter, yeah? Okay. Yeah, so you can play around with the exposure using that tiny little control at the back. Okay. Second thing we're going to do is white balance. So we've talked about this, that light is different in different places. You'll probably find for today's exercise, if you're white balancing your first shot of the day, I don't think the weather's going to change drastically over the hour that we're out. So you probably won't need to white balance on every single location, on every single shot, but you certainly need to white balance over every location that you go to. So, volunteer, can I ask you to hold up a piece of white paper for me there, just to make life? Yeah, so if I zoom in, you turn to the landscape, just because you're a bit far away and I don't. Yeah, so let me. Tilt that down. Some paper. Okay, so that's fill the screen with paper more or less. There's a little switch on the side, should already be on white balance. The key thing is just hidden behind the lens hood on the front of the camera, so facing the same way as the lens, is a button that says AWB, also white balance. So you should see on there, if I press that in for a few seconds, yeah, did you see how that changed? The colour very subtly there. Yeah, so that should mean that when I pull out, the colours on there should be well, not roughly, should be exactly what we see with the eye. Yeah. So you know somebody shoots some footage sometimes or takes a picture and it's inside and it's got this strange orange glow to it, especially if you look at old pictures. Yeah. And it's because the white balance is wrong. It doesn't know what colours are like in the room. Yeah. Okay. So once I've done all that, I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm just going to turn it off with the little switch at the side. Yeah. I'm going to hold the screen in, and then I'm going to release the wing nut which holds the track in place. It still won't come off. It's got the safety catch is still on. And then I'm going to turn it around and press the red button there. If I can see it, I can't see it, but there, the red button. Okay, that takes the camera off. So if I'm moving around, I want to take that as a separate thing to the tripod. If you got it on the end of the tripod, if you've got the camera on there, you're walking around, you'll want it on a door frame at some point, sooner or later. So whenever you're moving it from location to location, just take off the camera, just carry the camera separately. And that's good practice, no matter what you do with any sort of tripod, especially if you're changing location.